Upon completion of this course, you'll be able to explain the concept of leasing and how it compares to a retail finance contract, identify customers who are ideal lease candidates or may wish to consider leasing, and explain how the total cost of a lease is determined and identify the main factors that impact the monthly payment calculation. Additionally, you'll be able to list customer responsibilities associated with typical auto lease products during the ownership period and at lease end, identify and address common concerns customers may have regarding leasing, identify and define key leasing terms, and list available resources for learning more about leasing. This course is organized into 5 modules. Module 1 defines leasing and compares leasing to financing. Module 2 examines the overall benefits of leasing to you, your customers, and your dealership. Module 3 identifies ideal lease customers and explores their reasons for leasing. Module 4 explores the lease agreement, including how a monthly payment is calculated and customers' responsibilities. Module 5 discusses strategies on how to effectively address common customer concerns regarding leasing. Let's get started. Welcome to Module 1. In this module, we'll review a definition of leasing, as well as look at some of the differences between leasing and financing. What is a lease? A lease is a short-term contractual agreement that gives a customer the use of a motor vehicle in exchange for an agreed amount of money, based on the anticipated depreciation of the vehicle over a fixed, predetermined duration of time. The basic lease payment calculation is simple. The monthly depreciation plus the monthly lease charge equals the monthly payment. We'll take a closer look at this later in this course. Every lease involves 2 primary parties, the lessor and the lessee. The lessor is the owner and title holder of the leased vehicle. In other words, the company financing the lease. The lessee is the customer who leases the vehicle. What is the difference between leasing and financing? In a lease, the lessee pays only for the portion of the vehicle used. The lessee does not have to worry about the future market value of the vehicle. Although depreciation occurs with all vehicles, in a closed-end lease, the lessor is responsible for the future value of the vehicle, not the customer. Compare that to customers who finance. They pay for the entire vehicle and assume all of the depreciation risk and responsibilities. This includes whether they'll owe more than the vehicle is worth when they're ready to trade. Let's take a closer look. Drag each characteristic to its most appropriate category, lease or finance. When you are finished, click Next. Welcome to Module 2. In this module, we'll discuss the benefits of leasing to you, your customers, and your dealership. One of the biggest benefits lease customers enjoy is that payments are frequently lower for leasing than financing. Why? With a lease, the customer pays for the depreciation of the vehicle, plus rent charges, mileage, and taxes. With conventional financing, the customer pays for the entire cost of the vehicle, plus taxes and finance charges. The result is that monthly lease payments are frequently lower than retail finance payments for the same length of contract term. Leasing is also a cost-effective way to avoid the financial challenges faced by customers with long-term retail contracts who want to trade in early. Despite this benefit, a common question asked by customers when presented with the leasing option is, what do I own at the end of the lease? And the answer is simple: options. At the end of the lease term, a customer has three basic options. The first is to purchase the vehicle. Even if the balance is financed, the payments may be lower than financing the entire vehicle from the beginning. The customer also has the option to lease another new vehicle or honor all lease end obligations and walk away. Additional customer benefits of leasing include getting into a new vehicle more often, no negative equity, little or no repair expense, and no trade-in hassle. Your dealership may also offer several lease products and add-ons designed to increase customer satisfaction. For example, mileage purchase options, excess wear and use protection, tire and wheel damage protection, and maintenance plans. And it's not just your customers who benefit from leasing, it's also you and your dealership. These benefits include repeat sales because lease customers tend to be more loyal, increased referrals because lease customers tend to be happier with their overall experience, shorter trade cycles which help build long-term customer relationships, potential added service business because lease customers tend to return to the selling dealership for their service needs. An opportunity for the F&I department to sell vehicle service contracts for customers whose lease terms extend beyond the vehicle's factory warranty. And lease terminations provide a source of late-model, low-mileage vehicles for the used car department. Welcome to Module 3. In this module, we'll discuss leasing factors in today's market and why customers lease. Leasing accounts for a significant portion of retail transactions. Historically, about 20% of new vehicles are leased. That means that on average, about 1 out of 5 customers are leasing. And leasing is popular across all vehicle types, from luxury to entry-level, and from cars to SUVs and pickups. Based on what you know about leases so far, what makes an ideal lease candidate? Drag each customer characteristic to its most appropriate category, lease or finance. When you are finished, click Next. So why do customers lease? According to a recent industry study, there are 4 major reasons. 42% say they like the lower monthly payment. 27% want either a low down payment or no down payment at all. 17% want to drive more vehicle for their money, and 9% believe leasing is a better use of their money. Welcome to Module 4. In this module, we'll discuss key factors that determine a lease payment and customer responsibilities in holding up their end of the lease agreement. In principle, a basic monthly lease payment calculation is fairly simple. Just take the monthly depreciation charge and add it to the monthly lease charge. The sum equals the monthly payment. Let's take a closer look at the first 2 parts of the equation to see exactly how we determine the monthly payment. The first number you need to calculate is the total depreciation, which is the difference between the value of the vehicle before the lease and at the end of the lease. To calculate the value of the vehicle at lease inception, you first need the gross capitalized cost, which is the total selling price of the vehicle, including taxes, license, title, fees, service agreements, and other capitalized add-ons. Next, you need the capitalized cost reduction, which includes the customer's down payment, value of their trade-in vehicle, and any dealer contributions. The gross capitalized cost minus the capitalized cost reduction equals the adjusted cap cost, which is the agreed upon value of the vehicle at the beginning of the lease. The next number in our calculation is the residual value, which is a prediction of what the vehicle will be worth at the end of the lease. This number is determined by the company financing the lease. So now we know the adjusted cap cost, or what the vehicle is worth at lease inception, and the residual value, or what the vehicle is likely to be worth at the end of the lease. The difference between these 2 numbers equals the total depreciation, which is the amount by which the vehicle declines in value over the term of the lease. The monthly depreciation charge is simply the total depreciation divided by the number of months in the lease term. That explains the first part of the equation, the monthly depreciation charge, which equals the adjusted cap cost minus the residual value divided by the number of months in the term. The second part of the equation, the monthly lease charge, is the fee charged by the lessor divided by the number of months in the term. To calculate the monthly payment, simply add the monthly depreciation charge and the monthly lease charge. That's all there is to it. Note that changes to certain calculation factors may cause the monthly lease payment to go up or down. This chart shows the relationship of three factors on lease payments: adjusted cap cost, depreciation, and term length. If the adjusted cap cost of the vehicle in this example increased from $30,000 to $35,000, the depreciation amount would also increase from $15,000 to $20,000, assuming that the residual value remained at $15,000. As a result, the higher depreciation would raise the monthly lease payment. Conversely, if the term period and/or the residual value increased, the monthly lease payment would be lower. Adjust cap cost, residual value, and term to see the impact on monthly payment. Click Next when finished. Lease customers have specific responsibilities they need to fulfill to hold up their end of the lease agreement during the lease term. They must make periodic payments as outlined in the lease agreement and ensure their vehicle receives the recommended service and maintenance. And just like with conventional financing, the customer is responsible for fully insuring the vehicle, as well as paying all applicable taxes and licensing fees. Customers turning in vehicles at lease end have additional responsibilities. Although normal wear and use is expected and not charged, customers will be charged for excessive wear and use. Customers exceeding their predetermined mileage limit may be charged for extra miles. In addition, customers need to return all vehicle documentation and equipment. Welcome to Module 5. In this module, we'll discuss strategies on how to effectively address the most common customer concerns regarding leasing. Customer concerns are inevitable when the subject of leasing is presented. However, some concerns are based on misconceptions, misinformation, or lack of information. For example, I drive too many miles to lease. If I lease, I'll always have a payment. Or, I can't get out of a lease. A professional sales consultant should be prepared to handle common customer concerns. After all, a concern is just another way of saying, I don't have enough information. To be successful, you must be able to turn customer concerns into opportunities. This is a simple two-step process. First, acknowledge the customer's specific concern, and second, provide information on the benefits of leasing that addresses the concern. Click on each customer concern to see the best response. When you're finished,